morning to all of you. Myself,
Morning to all of you.
Professor Vijay
Myself,
Nathkar,
Mr. Vijay Nath,
HOD, Department of Basic Sciences and
HOD,
Humanities.
Department of Basic Sciences and Humanities.
I welcome all of you
I welcome
in
all of you
e-workshop
in the
on
workshop
aptitude, knowledge, and
on
personality
aptitude,
enhancement.
knowledge, and personality enhancement.
First of all, I would
First
like
of all,
to congratulate
I would
the
like to
management
congratulate management
for conducting
for
such
conducting
series of
a
webinars,
series of
the
webinars, the
e-aptitude, knowledge, and personality
knowledge
enhancement.
and personality enhancement.
This topic is
This topic is
Indian geography.
Indian geography.
Indian geography
Indian
is a very
geography
vast
is a very vast
topic.
topic.
So I have tried to,
So I
tried
have
to
tried to,
and
and
that's why I have renamed
that's why I have
as
renamed as
Introduction to Indian Geography.
Introduction to Indian geography.
So let us start with the
Let
topic.
us start with the topic.
Let me ask you first of all
Let
one
me ask you
question:
first of all one question.
why we need to
Why
study the
we
geography
need
of
to
a
study the
particular nation?
geography of a particular nation?
So some common answers could
Some
be
common answers could be
uh, to increase the general
to
knowledge
increase the general knowledge
for the preparation of
for the
competitive
preparation of.
examination. Geography is a compulsory part for any competitive examination. But my answer is something different. Why we need to study the geography of a nation? Because the food that we eat, the air that we breathe, the clothes that we wear, the color of our skin, color of our hair is depend on the environmental condition or geographical environmental condition. And for that, we need to study the geographical condition of our land. Our ancestors, they were quite intelligent people. That's why they have given the name of God to the nature. And definitely, nature is the only God that we can see our naked eye. And that is why we need to study the geography of a particular land or our land. So with this thought, let us start with the session. What are the different aspects that we are going to discuss over here? The contents are position of India on the globe of Earth, latitude and longitudinal axis of India, time zone of India, some features of physical state of India, neighboring countries of India and their boundaries, states and union territories of India, brief description on Indian mountains and rivers. First of all, we'll see the position of India on the Earth globe. Now, Earth globe is divided into northern and southern hemisphere by an imaginary line known as equator. Also, it is divided into western and eastern hemisphere by another imaginary line known as prime meridian. Now, India is located in northern eastern hemisphere on the Earth globe. Most of the Indian land comes in tropical region. Now, this tropical region are the regions where sun rays receives vertically. Some northern part of India comes under temperate zone where sun rays receive angularly. Tropic of Cancer, it is another imaginary line which is parallel to equator, goes from center of India. This Tropic of Cancer passes through some of the states of India like Rajasthan, Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, West Bengal, Tripura, Mizoram. These are the states from where this Tropic of Cancer passes. It means these where sun rays receives directly or vertically. One interesting fact about this is the Ranchi, the capital of Jharkhand, the Tropic of Cancer passes through Ranchi. Next topic is latitude and longitudinal axis of India. Now, the globe is covered by horizontal imaginary lines parallel to equator, Tropic of Cancer, and Tropic of Capricorn, known as latitudes. Similarly, globe is covered by vertical imaginary lines known as longitudinal longitudes or meridian. Now, mainland of India extend between 8 degree 4 minutes north to 37 degrees 6 minutes north in latitude axis. In the similar way, when it comes to longitudinal axis, the mainland of India extends from 68 degrees 7 minutes to 97 degrees 25 minutes east. Now, east-west extent is about 2933 kilometers and northwest extent about 3000 kilometers. Now, this suggests that if you put this India in longitudinal and latitude axes, you will find India is placed in a square. Now, next topic is time zone of India. Now, time zone around the world decided by longitudinal axis. Meridian, that is longitudinal axis, divides the globe hemisphere, that is eastern and western hemisphere. Globe is spherical and been its revolution in 24. Earth revolves 360 degrees in 24 hours, covers 15 degrees of longitudinal axis. East to west longitudinal 2 hours earlier on eastmost point of India, that is CP2 in Arunachal Pradesh, than westmost point of India, that is Guharmoti. For example, if you consider the local time, sun at 6 a.m. at eastmost, then sunrise at 8 on westmost point of India. Now, that is 82 degrees 33 minutes east. Now, some features of physical state of India. Total land area covered by India is 3.28 million square kilometers. And because of this, India shares 2.4% of geographical area on the globe of Earth. Now, India is the seventh largest land on the globe. Before India, Russia, Canada, USA, China, Brazil, and Australia has the largest lands on the globe of the Earth. India is having land borders of 15,200 kilometers and coastal line boundaries or borders, including islands like Andaman Nicobar and Lakshadweep, is 7,516.6 kilometers. If you exclude the island boundaries or island coastal line boundaries, or the coastal line border is near about 6100 kilometers. Now, India is surrounded by from north by Himalaya mountains, and three sides of southern India is surrounded by Arabian Sea, Indian Ocean, and Bay of Bengal. Let us see some neighboring countries and their boundaries. Now, neighboring countries of India are Pakistan, Afghanistan, China, Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh, Myanmar, which is also known as Burma, Sri Lanka, and Indonesia. Out of which Sri Lanka and Indonesia, they do not share boundaries with India, neither land boundaries nor coastal line boundaries. Now, rest of all countries shares the land boundaries as well as coastal line boundaries with India. Let us see the boundaries. Now, India and Pakistan shares the boundary of 3323 kilometers. India Afghanistan shares the boundary of 106 kilometers, which is east. India and China shares the boundary of 3488 kilometers. India and Nepal shares the boundary of 1751 kilometers. India Bhutan shares the boundary of 699 kilometers. India Bangladesh shares the boundary of 4096.7 kilometers. And India Myanmar, that is Burma, shares the boundary of 1673 kilometers. Now let us see the states of India. Let me tell you, there are 28 states in India and 8 union territories. Let's see from the north. At the north, we can see the states of India like Himachal Pradesh, Punjab, Haryana. Then on west side, we have Rajasthan, Gujarat. In the central, we have Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra. On east again, we have west on we have Goa. On southern part, we have Karnataka, Kerala, then Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Chhattisgarh, then Orissa is there on east side, then Jharkhand is there, then Uttar Pradesh, Uttarakhand at northern east north side of India, then Bihar is there, then West Bengal, then Sikkim on eastern side, Arunachal Pradesh on eastern side, Assam, Nagaland, Manipur, Mizoram, Tripura, and Meghalaya. These are seven sisters which is present on east side of India or eastmost point of India. To compare the land area of all states, you will find that Rajasthan is the largest state of India, having the area of 3,42,396 square kilometers. Similarly, the Goa is smallest state, which has having area of 3,702 kilometers square kilometers. Let us see the union territories of India. At the northern part, we have Jammu and Kashmir, Ladakh. These are newly formed union territories. Then Chandigarh is there, Delhi is there. Then Daman and Diu and Dadra and Nagar Haveli. Earlier they were different union territories. Means Daman and Diu was a different union territory. Dadra and Nagar Haveli was different union territory. In 2019, both union territory was merged, and now it becomes a single union territory. Then we have Lakshadweep and Andaman Nicobar. Puducherry is another union territory. Puducherry contains four different districts in this union territory in different states. First one is Pondicherry, which is present in Puducherry. Then Saraikal. Then we have Yaman, which is present in uh, Andhra Pradesh. This is a district which which is in Puducherry Union Territory, and one more is there, that is Mahe. So these four districts comes under Puducherry Union Territory. Now let us see the mountains of India. The mountains of India can be classified as Himalaya mountain range and mountains of Central Highlands and Deccan, that is Southern Plateau. Central Highlands and Deccan Plateau is known as Peninsular Plateau of India. Mountains in the region of Central Highlands and Deccan Plateau are Aravalli mountain ranges, Vindhyachal mountain ranges, Satpura mountain ranges, Western Ghats, Eastern Ghats. First, we'll see the Himalayan mountain range. Now, Himalaya is among youngest folded mountain in the world. Himalaya can be classified on the basis of its age and rivers. On the basis of age, Himalaya classified as Great Himalaya, Lesser Himalaya, which is also known as Middle Himalaya, and Shivalik Himalaya. Overall, Himalaya mountain ranges expanded in Jammu and Kashmir, Ladakh, Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Sikkim, Arunachal Pradesh, Assam, Meghalaya, Manipur, Mizoram in India. First of all, we'll see the Great Himalaya. Now, age of this Great Himalaya is about 25 to 40 million years. Average elevation is about 6100 meters. The world highest peak, that is Mount Everest, is situated on a Great Himalaya, that is in Nepal, having the elevation is about 8848 meters. The next one is Shivalik Himalaya. They are youngest Himalaya mountain range. Average age is about 2 to 5 million years. Next one is Lesser or Middle Himalaya. The Middle Himalaya is situated between Great Himalaya and Shivalik Himalaya, having age is about 15 to 25 million years. Himalaya can also be classified on the basis of rivers. That is Punjab rivers, Punjab Himalaya, then Kumayu Himalaya, then Nepal Himalaya, and Assam Himalaya. First, we'll see the Punjab Himalaya. The Punjab Himalaya is situated in between Indus, that is Sindhu River, and Satluj River, also known as Kashmir Himalaya. It is expanded from Kashmir, Ladakh to Himachal Pradesh. It has six mountain ranges, namely Karakoram, Ladakh, Jaskar, Pir Panjal, Dhauladhar, and Shivalik. The Karakoram has highest peak in India, that is K2 Golden Austin, with the elevation of 8611 meters. Indus River flows between Jaskar and Ladakh mountain ranges. Pir Panjal mountain range are longest ranges of Himalaya, which are expanded from Jammu Kashmir to Himachal Pradesh. Famous Kullu Ghati is situated in between Dhauladhar and Pir Panjal mountain range. Karakoram, Ladakh, and Jaskar mountain combinedly known as Trans Himalaya. Next one is Kumayu Himalaya. It is also known as Gadwal Himalaya. The Kumayu Himalaya, situated between Satluj and Kali River, expanded about 340 kilometers in Uttarakhand. Highest peak is Nanda Devi, having elevation about 7817 meters. Badrinath, Kedarnath, Gangotri, and Yamunotri are the parts of Kumayu Himalaya. Next one is Nepal Himalaya. Nepal Himalaya expanded between Kali River to Tista River. It has highest peak in the world known as Mount Everest, having elevation of 8848 meters situated in Nepal. In Nepal, this Mount Everest is also known as Sagarmatha. Dhaulgiri, Annapurna, Makalu, and Kanchenjunga mountains are the part of Nepal Himalaya. Kanchenjunga is the second highest peak of India, having elevation about 8586 meters, expanded in Sikkim and in Nepal. The next one is Assam Himalaya. Assam Himalaya is situated between Tista and Brahmaputra River. It is expanded in Assam, Arunachal Pradesh, and Sikkim. Eastmost peak of Himalaya is Namcha Barma mountain range, which is present in Arunachal Pradesh. Now, mountains of Peninsular Plateau, that is southern and central highlands. Main mountains of Peninsular Plateau of India are Aravalli Hills, Vindhyachal mountain ranges, then Satpura, Western Ghats, and Eastern Ghats. First of all, see the Aravalli Hills. These mountain ranges runs towards southwest direction. It starts from North India, that is Delhi, passing through southern Haryana, western state Rajasthan, ending in Palampur, Gujarat. Aravalli Hills are the oldest fold mountains in the world. Now, Guru Shikhar near Mount Abu is in Rajasthan, is the highest peak of Aravalli Hills with the elevation of 1172 meters above the sea level. Satpura ranges. Vindhya and Satpura mountain ranges form northern boundary of Deccan Plateau. Satpura range rises in eastern Gujarat, running east through northern boundary of Maharashtra and south region of Madhya Pradesh till Chhattisgarh. In Chhattisgarh, another set of mountains called Michael Hills, which are also called as eastern part of Satpura mountain range. Land elevation is east to west direction, hence rivers like Narmada and Tapi flows towards west. Mount Dhupgarh is the highest peak of Satpura range, which is situated in Panchmadi in Madhya Pradesh. Elevation of Dhupgarh is about 1350 meters above sea level. Now Vindhyachal mountain ranges. Vindhya Mount range also arises from eastern region of Gujarat. It runs along south border of Rajasthan, north Madhya Pradesh, south Uttar Pradesh, north Chhattisgarh, and south Bihar. Land elevation is from east to west direction. Now, majority of the cities in the Madhya Pradesh lies between Satpura and Vindhya mountain ranges. Kalumar peak is the highest peak of India, located in Damoh district of Madhya Pradesh. Elevation is about 752 meters. Narmada flows between Satpura and Vindhya range of mountains. Tapi flows south part of Satpura. Next is Western Ghats. In West Coast, long chain of mountain arises known as Western Ghats. They are parallel to Arabian Sea and stretch across the western coast states of South Gujarat, Maharashtra, Goa, Karnataka, Kerala, and Tamil Nadu. In the state of Maharashtra and Karnataka, Western Ghats are also known as Sahyadri. Western Ghats are the first highlands of India that encounters southwest monsoon winds. That means this region receives lots of rainfall, due to which we will find tropical evergreen forest. Therefore, it has exceptionally high level of biological diversity and also recognized as world's biological hotspot. Anamudi is the highest peak in Western Ghats. Its elevation is about 2695 meters and also highest peak in entire peninsular area. It is located at the border of Kerala and Tamil Nadu. Moving forward to Eastern Ghats, if we go eastern coast, we will find discontinuous range of mountains known as Eastern Ghats. They run through northern Odisha, Andhra Pradesh, and Tamil Nadu. These mountains do exist in some southeastern part of Kerala. Here, western and eastern Ghats meet with each other, and this region is also known as Nilgiri Hills. Most of the rivers from Deccan Plateau drain into Bay of Bengal. That is, we will find discontinuity. That is why we will find the discontinuity in the mountains of Eastern Ghats. River erodes and cuts the mountain while flowing into Bay of Bengal. In Eastern Ghats, Armakonda is the highest peak with the elevation of 1680 meters, located in Arku Valley of northern part of Andhra Pradesh. High, height of elevation of Eastern Ghats is progressively increased from north to south, where the height of elevation of Eastern Ghats increases from south to north. Eastern Ghats gone through lots of erosion activity, which created natural land slope to flow rivers into Bay of Bengal. These mountains play very important role affecting the climatic change for the nearby land. Now, next topic is Indian rivers. Rivers can be classified, or Indian rivers can be classified as Himalaya rivers and rivers of Indian plateau. Major rivers of Himalaya are Ganga, Brahmaputra, Indus, which is also known as Sindhu. Major rivers of Indian plateau are Narmada, Godavari, Tapti, Kaveri, Krishna, Sabarmati, and Mahi, etc. First, we'll see Himalayan rivers, and that is to Ganga. River Ganga is the longest river in India. Length is about 2525 kilometers and flows through Uttarakhand, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Jharkhand, and West Bengal. Ganga originates from Gangotri Glacier at Gomukh. Now, headwater of Ganga is known as Bhagirathi. It joins Alaknanda at Devprayag, from where it is known as Ganga. Ghagra is the longest tributary of Ganga, whereas the Yamuna is the second largest tributary of Ganga. Yamuna originates at Yamunotri and joins Ganga at Allahabad. Next one is Indus River. It is also known as Sindhu. Indus is one of the longest rivers in Asia. It is near about 3180 kilometers long. It originates from the western parts of Tibet in the vicinity of Mount Kailash and Lake Mansarovar. The river passes through Jammu and Kashmir before joining Arabian Sea. It passes through Pakistan. It is the longest national river of Pakistan. River Satluj is the longest tributary of Indus. Satluj flows through states of Himachal Pradesh, Punjab, and joins Indus in Pakistan. Major tributaries of Indus are Jhelum, Chenab, Ravi, and Vyas. Next one is Brahmaputra. Brahmaputra is among the major rivers of Asia, flows through China, India, and Bangladesh. This river is 3848 kilometers long. It is also known as Sangpo in Tibet. It originates from northern side of Himalayan Tibet. Brahmaputra enters in India from state of Arunachal Pradesh, where it is known as Tiangong. In Assam, river is called Brahmaputra. In Bangladesh, it joins with river Tista, where it is known as Jamuna. Later, it joins Padma river. Now, Padma is river Ganga. When river Ganga enters into the Bangladesh, it is known as Padma. So, Brahmaputra, when joins to Padma in Bangladesh, combined it is known as Meghna. Rivers of Indian Plateau. First, Godavari. Godavari is second longest river in India after river Ganga. It originates from Trambakeshwar, which is situated in Nasik, Maharashtra. Tributaries of Godavari are Purna, Pravara, and Venganga. Tributaries of Venganga are Penganga, Vardha, Manjra, and Indravati. Next is Narmada. Narmada is 1312 km long. It is third longest river of India. It originates from Amarkantak range of mountains. It flows through Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, and Gujarat. Narmada lies between Vindhyachal and Satpura. It is regarded as lifeline of Madhya Pradesh. Next one is Tapti River. It is the second longest westward flowing river of India. It is 724 km long. It originates from Mahadev Hills near Multai. It flows through Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, and Gujarat. Important tributaries are Purna, Girna, and Panjara. The next is Krishna River. River Krishna originates from Western Ghats near Mahabaleshwar. It flows to Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, and Telangana. Length of Krishna is 1400 kilometers and drained into Bay of Bengal. Next one is Kaveri. Kaveri originates from Talakaveri, located in Brahmagiri Hills, Kasargod district of Karnataka. Kaveri River flows through states of Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. Length of Kaveri River is near about 805 kilometers and drained into Bay of Bengal. Thank you for watching and do share this video. Thank you. Hello? Hello?